Hi, thanks for joining us today for what is episode 12 of our MotorServe TV series. I'm very pleased and excited to welcome an old friend and associate, Vic Younis, who we're very happy to have on today. Vic is a partner and is head of dispute resolution at Wall James Chappell Solicitors, a law firm specialising in providing expert legal advice for both commercial and individual clients. Vic has worked for the Crown Prosecution Service in London and is a double award-winning solicitor, hailed as a rising star in law and also winning an award for excellence in legal services at the highly prestigious Signature Business Awards. Vic holds many roles outside of the legal world, including his position as commercial manager at Stourbridge Football Club, and he's recently joined the Institute of Directors as an ambassador for professional services. We're very lucky to have Vic on with us today, and I'm really excited to hear what he has to share with us. Please join me in welcoming Vic to MotorServe UK. So hi Vic.
Hello Cam.
Thank you very much for coming over once again.
That's my pleasure.
So you come over from Stourbridge?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So thanks very much for making that journey.
No, it was a long journey, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it a bit of a jaunt over today?
It was. I would just wish I brought my suitcase. I could have caught a flight from Birmingham somewhere. Somewhere warm.
While you're over here.
Absolutely.
Next time, mate.
Leave the car here and save on airport parking.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly that. We'll give you a lift to the airport next time.
Thank you very much.
So next time you're going down.
I'll take you up on that, believe you me.
So I tried to obviously encapsulate everything I could within the intro. But is there anything that I've missed, or is there anything that you want to say about yourself or tell the audience a little bit about your background?
I think you summed it up perfectly, Cam. I don't think I can add anything. It's like as if I wrote it myself.
Yeah. That's it, near enough.
Yeah, near enough.
But yeah, I think, because obviously I got to know you through the kind of Birmingham business networking events, and then you came to our supercar event, didn't you, here?
Yeah, oh gosh, about 6 months ago, was it in the summer?
It was in the summer, wasn't it?
When the sun was out, it was a great day, yeah. I can remember that, it was a great day. Oh.
You bought your lovely 8 Series along, so
Yeah, the M8 was there, roof down, it was perfect, convertible weather.
Yeah, we arranged the weather as well, you see, so we thought we'd get that sorted out for the day.
Well, if you could tell me what the weather's like for the next few weeks, mate, I'll be truly grateful.
So, back to kind of where it all began, like your school life. So were you kind of born and bred in Stourbridge?
Yeah, all my life. Grew up in a small town called Lye, which is in the Black Country. Went to a local primary school and then went to a local college, Stourbridge College. It's no longer there anymore. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's no longer there.
Something you did.
Yeah, so born and raised in Stourbridge. I've had a couple of adventures out in London working there, but the old saying is true, home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
So Stourbridge lured me back, and I'm settled in Stourbridge.
Excellent.
Working away.
Yeah, brilliant. It's not too far from Birmingham, so hence why I see you at all the Birmingham events.
Yeah, it's sort of, you say to people who are not from the area, I'm from Stourbridge, and they're like, where's Stourbridge? And you say Birmingham, and they're like, oh yes, Birmingham.
Yeah, of course.
Or Birmingham. And then I have to explain I'm 12 miles west of Birmingham, and they just nod and agree like they're really paying attention, but they're not really.
Yeah. But being from the Black Country, you don't have much of an accent, or is that because you're here and when you're at home you talk more with?
I think because you're from Birmingham, you probably do not detect it as much. Whereas some of my other friends and family who are outside of the region, they detect my accent.
Right, so straight away.
Yeah, straight away. And it may be that certain words will come out and I have a strong Black Country accent, but otherwise it's just the way I normally speak. So if I've got an accent, great. If I haven't, I'll take that as well.
So, you went to Wolverhampton Uni, wasn't it? So quite local. And did you always want to do law? Because you did law at uni, didn't you?
Yeah. So I graduated with a first-class honours degree in law.
Yeah.
And it's a bit weird because I had the dreams of wanting to become a footballer, play for the club I supported.
Yeah.
But I've always been an argumentative person. You know, I like to argue, and that's what my family would say. I argue, and I'm stubborn, and I sort of law was just natural to me.
Yeah.
And when I went to university, it all came natural to me. And yes, of course, there was a lot of hard work, but I loved doing law at A-level, loved doing it at university, and I'm grateful for the career that I've chosen to date.
Brilliant. So lawyer by nature then?
Lawyer by nature, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Especially when the bills go out, anyway.
Yeah. And then, so from uni, you went off to, was it London CPS you went to work for?
No, so I went to, in 2009, when I graduated, I went to London to work for the Department of Work and Pensions.
Okay.
So I worked there for a year, purely because I wanted non-legal experience on my CV. I thought, well, let's see what the world has to offer. So I went to London and worked there for 12 months, saved some, the idea was for me to save money, and then in autumn 2010, I would start my legal practice course.
Yeah, LPC.
Yeah, so obviously that was the plan, but I did start my LPC, but the money I saved was spent on a car. So my parents were not best pleased.
Yeah. So you did your LPC?
Yeah,
was CPS your first role after that? Or?
No, so LPC is part-time. Well, I did mine part-time. You can do it full-time. It's a legal practice course which future lawyers had to do to become a solicitor. Yeah. So I did that part-time whilst working at another law firm, which is now a regional law firm. Yeah. So I graduated from my LPC in 2012, started my training contract the same year, and qualified as a solicitor, believe it or not, on the 1st of April Fool's Day, 2014. And then a couple of months later, I started with the Crown Prosecution Service in London.
Fantastic. So you're on that side of the bench?
Yeah, so to speak, because I wanted court experience. I wanted to be in court and feel like, wanted to know what it felt like being on my feet. Yeah. And the great thing about the Crown Prosecution Service was that I was doing a number of trials on a daily basis, and it really prepared me for the lawyer I am today. Yeah.
What kind of cases were you doing now? Was it a particular type or mixed?
It was obviously all crime related, so we were prosecuting, so it was a right mix. So you could have your driving offences, or you could have your assault, but it's a variety of offences that I dealt with.
Yeah, so it was a really good experience probably working there.
It was a great experience.
Yeah.
You know, sort of prosecuting at Uxbridge Magistrates Court, so you had all the cases that came from Heathrow Airport. Those were fascinating. And then, you know, there's some really juicy cases that, you know, I did a bit of work on, so it was great.
Yeah. And then you got kind of summoned back to the Midlands.
Yeah, so I came back to the Midlands 2015.
Yeah.
So my parents were like, come back. But I also saw the bigger picture, because in London I thought, where am I going with my personal future? You know, I can't afford to buy a property. It's very hard to get on the property ladder. Do I just go home now, or do I stick it out in London for a few more years and eventually not be left with much, well, in a few years not save as much? So, you know, that typical mentality that my parents had ingrained into me was coming through. So the Midlands came calling, and I sort of went back in early 2015.
Fantastic. And that's when you started at Royal Chappell?
No, so I started at another law firm, and then I moved around a couple of places because I was trying to find my feet. Because don't forget, I was doing commercial litigation, so I'd left crime behind, and it was all commercial litigation. So I was moving around a couple of law firms, but I found my home in January 2017 when I started at Wall James Chappell. Yeah,
fantastic. And since then, you've become partner in 2019, is that right?
Yeah, October 2019, so partner and head of dispute resolution, so sort of 2.5 years later.
Brilliant. So does that kind of cement you in? Is that your home now for the future or foreseeable future?
It's home, you know. I'm a partner. I really enjoy it. It's a firm that can trace its roots back many years. Yeah. We're at 45 staff. We're a good local employer. I work with some great people. My partners are excellent. We all have the same ethos, which is to provide excellent legal service, and in addition to grow the practice. So we share common goals, and we all get on, which I think is fundamental to any successful business.
Yeah, fantastic. So as a business, what's next? Like, what are you looking to achieve? You just mentioned you want to grow, you want to do more services. Yeah,
so we're obviously a multi-service law firm. So obviously I advise commercial clients.
Yeah.
But we do commercial property as well. We do mergers and acquisitions, terms and conditions, and obviously I head up the dispute litigation department. But we also advise people on divorces, buying and selling their property, making a will. So it is a multi-service law firm. I think the plan for the future is that if we can grow strategically, that would be great, and that is by hiring the right people, key hires, people who can add value to what we already provide. And we're always looking for staff because we'd rather be proactive in building the firm rather than being a reactive firm.
Yeah, fantastic. Are you looking for any more locations, or is location pretty set in where you are?
Well, we are well known where we are in Stourbridge, but we haven't closed the door to another location. It's just when the opportunity arises and what we can do and what we can offer, and ultimately, if the opportunity is right, then I'm sure we'll strike.
Fantastic. So there could be something on the cards for the future.
I can't say much more than that at the moment.
So, like networking, so obviously you're a big networker. Things like social media, like Instagram, Facebook, how much of an impact does that have on your business, and do you do a lot of it?
Personally, social media has a great influence because, as you'll see from my LinkedIn and my Instagram, that I will promote Wall James Chappell, but I will also promote my own brand, which is me. Yeah. And that has a big influence because it's led to the opportunities that have come across me, with clients and joining certain organizations. And for a firm, yes, social media plays a key part. People are accessing information via social media platforms, and we need to be alive to that. So probably the old tradition of going to a website it's still active, but not as much as what it used to be sort of 10 years ago before the rise of social media. Sorry, before 10 years, like 15 years ago.
Yeah. You still get walk-ins?
Yeah, we still get walk-ins. Yeah. Not a great deal, but it's more so calling the office, asking for legal advice is probably more, it is the common way of instructing a solicitor. Yeah.
So from your head of like litigation, what types do you do, commercial and personal?
Yeah, so I focus a lot of my time in commercial litigation. So that could be, disputes with a customer or a supplier, breach of contract, which would be breach of NDAs or breach of terms and conditions, or breach of a shareholders agreement. Also advising shareholders and other directors on directors' duties or breach of directors' duties. So, or debt recovery as well. So it's a real wide spectrum because it also can include to employment law, advising employers and commercial landlords. But we also advise, residential landlords, also debt recovery for individuals who loan money to friends or family and they're not being paid back.
Wow, okay.
Or another area is contested probate, where people are wanting to contest wills. So that's sort of, I focus on that as well. But, as a team, we've all got our strengths and we all pull together to make sure we get the right results for our client.
It's quite a big array of services, isn't it, really? There's a lot to it.
It is. For dispute resolution in a high street practice, you have to have a variety of services in litigation. You can't just provide a niche area because the niche area will only come every now and again. So to keep the wheel rolling, so to speak, you need to be able to advise in a number of spectrums. Yeah,
excellent. So, like with all the networking stuff that you do personally and like building your personal brand, is that how you've got your awards? Is that the other positions you hold?
So networking, it's how I've grown my my phone book effectively with clients. I've met you through networking.
Exactly, I was going to say.
So proof is that it works.
Yeah.
Other people in the region I've met via networking, and people say networking does not work, or some people say, oh, I don't want to network. That really gets to me, because I think, no, look, I'm telling you it works.
Yeah.
I'm walking, talking proof of it.
Yeah.
So the other positions, yes, the Institute of Directors I've got through networking, getting to know Abid, as you know, and same with Stourbridge Football Club. So, networking presents opportunities, and again, if you don't network, I think you become a forgotten person, basically.
Yeah.
So you've got to be prominent.
More so nowadays.
Absolutely. There's nothing stopping somebody from calling another lawyer or another accountant or another insurance broker, whatever it may be. You have to be there, prominent.
It's being front of mind, isn't it? And being the person they think of when they think of that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, with litigation, they only come to me when there's a problem.
Yeah.
But you want to be that sort of person where if somebody can call you and say, well look, I'm looking at buying a house, or I'm selling a property, or my daughter or my son are getting married and we need this in place, or we need a will, whatever it may be, and you want them to call you, because don't forget, you don't network just for yourself, you network for the firm that you work for. So, I network for Ward James Chappell.
Yeah.
I'm a partner there, so obviously it's in my interest to promote the business, and that's what I do.
So nowadays, like with the current market situation, with what's going on, are you guys finding it hard to recruit?
Recruitment is an interesting topic. It's not easy to recruit. It's absolutely not easy to recruit.
Always, or more so now?
I think since COVID.
Big C word.
That C word.
Yeah.
It's been difficult to recruit because people's perspective has changed, their priorities have changed, and that's absolutely fine. So we've had to adjust. For example, before coronavirus, we did not have a thing of working from home. It was always in the office.
Yeah.
But we've adjusted because the market has dictated we have to adjust. So if we did not adjust, we would be bottom of the pecking order. Nobody would want to come to us. So we have to offer that, and and it's working. So we offer home working, or remote working, and some of the staff enjoy it, and it works well. But we're a law firm, and I'm a big advocate of saying work-life balance, and that remote working allows individuals to have that work-life balance, and that's an ethos that we wish to promote throughout the firm.
No, I agree. It helps a lot. Especially, I know what you're saying, because it's the market has changed a lot. So, and we see it with our customers. A lot of people, they're not in offices anymore. They are working from home. So they're a bit more flexible, even with us, like bringing their cars in and stuff. So
well, absolutely. They're not clocking up the mileage, right?
Yeah,
so
that's it.
effectively, where they were doing 12,000 perhaps the year before,
just going to work and back.
Maybe now doing 7,500. So the service is not due, or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Well, we're finding they're more flexible because they're not working from the offices, or they're not working from here, there, and everywhere. They're at home in Solihull, so you can pick up and drop off the cars easier.
Oh, so it's the extra service.
So it's the extra service. So
fantastic.
It becomes more applicable, really. So in some respects. So at the moment, like obviously today, we're going to date this podcast now, because obviously it's going to be going for ages. But today is announced we're in recession.
Yep.
So how have you found it over the last kind of 6 months, 12 months? Have you felt it slipping into that? Has this thing slowed down?
I think the signs were there for a while that we were heading into a recession.
Yeah.
But we should not be afraid of the R word. A recession, it may be, and obviously people are scarred from the last recession, and that's understandable. But for me, I think it will present new opportunities, and we have to learn as individuals. We learn every day. So, am I scared of the recession? No. Am I scared of going into? No, not at all. What will I think it will do for me and the firm? I think it will present new opportunities for us to grow and generate more work. And you just don't know what may come. So going back to your earlier question about expanding, there may be some law firms who, the recession does bite hard, and they're looking to merge with somebody, and it may present that perfect opportunity. Or it may be that we're looking for a candidate, and their role may have been made redundant because of the recession, and they may come across our desk. So you know, the recession will bring opportunities, and I don't think people should be scared.
Definitely. So you have to adapt, don't you, to the market changes and find the best out of everything.
Absolutely. I always say you've got to be like a universal remote control. So you've got to be able to adapt to the circumstances, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You've got to be ready. And the key thing I say is in business is that you have to be proactive and not reactive, because if you're reactive, you know, you're already behind. But if you're proactive, you've already planned ahead, and you can think, actually, this has happened, but I've already planned for it.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be the Pep Guardiola of sort of the business world, where you try to be anyway, you know, tactically work it all out. You get it right 99% of the time and wrong 1%. But it pains me to say that, because obviously I'm a massive Man United fan. So, but yeah.
Brilliant. I did find that as well, because, you know, being in the motor trade, you're always having a crisis. There's always something going on. There's always, you know, movements in the market. There's things always going on. So when COVID hit, it wasn't for us to adapt to it. It wasn't that bad. And a lot of people say, oh, how are you coping, this and that? And it's like, oh, it's like another day at the office, to be honest. It's just slightly different. Obviously, a lot bigger circumstance change. But because everyone's in that circumstance, we were just with everyone. It wasn't like, you know, we're doing really well and other people are doing badly, or vice versa. So it was a weird period, really. Yeah,
I think it was the initial 12 months after March, when lockdown was announced, was difficult and strange. But now, if you look back at it, you think, gosh, I can't believe I was queuing outside Aldi to do my weekly shopping.
2 meters apart.
Yeah, 2 meters apart, or wearing masks, or there's one-way systems in the offices.
It's like, when you go around places now, I know we've still got some.
I saw it on your staircase.
Like, on the staircase, haven't been taken off yet, but you've still got like remnants of the COVID, like around supermarkets and stuff.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Because you don't know when the next...
hopefully never. But
hopefully never, but you know when the next pandemic is going to come.
What issue will come,
Absolutely.
That's it. So, obviously we touched upon it earlier, but you wanted to be a lawyer from a very young age. Yeah. Were you influenced by anything, or any films or any programs like Ally McBeal or any of these, like A Few Good Men?
Do you know?
Was that, you know?
My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, that's a great movie because it's just an all-time classic. Yeah. But I don't think I was influenced by by the TV or a movie or cinema. I just think it was me, you know, the argumentative and stubborn person that I am. I just thought, I can't go into any other area. It has to be law, and you know, it was at college, but when I did A-level and I did business studies, it's what I fell in love with. I was like, this is for me. So like with
you've obviously had all your court experience with the CPS. Now you're in private practice and in the main market more than anything in the public. Do you have to go to court much anymore? Does most stuff settle out of court, in dispute resolution or mediation?
Well, I'm a big advocate of alternative dispute resolution because it's a lot quicker for all the parties.
And knock it on the head, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, with commercial litigation, what we can, you can achieve a settlement which allows the parties to continue with their commercial relationship. Yeah. So it's not all bad blood.
Closing the doors on everything.
Absolutely. For example, if you issued a claim today, it could be 12 to 18 months before you get before a judge, and it's going to be a lot of litigation time. It's going to be a lot of expense. And don't forget, that's not taking into account taking you away from the business. Whereas I'm sure you would prefer for it to resolve within 6 months.
That's it.
So I'm a big advocate of alternative dispute resolution. And the good thing is a lot of litigation lawyers are of the same mind. So, all my peers are exactly the same. That, I've not come across anybody to date who's not an advocate of alternative dispute resolution. Yeah.
It's a much better way, isn't it?
It's absolutely. Yeah. It's the way to do things.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking at the people that you come across, because obviously you come across a lot of lawyers in your trade, and when you go into court and stuff, it's mostly legal background people. From what you've seen, for any kind of budding lawyers out there, or anyone thinking of going into law, because I know my niece has just decided to do law, so she's going off to uni in September to start.
Oh, fantastic.
What would you say to them? Like, what's the future for law?
I think AI is going to have a big influence over law.
Yeah.
In general, the legal processes, I should say, not the law. So legal processes, AI will have a big influence. But I think it's, there's a number of routes to qualifying now, sort of the solicitor apprenticeship, which works well because you're working and you're earning, but you're not incurring a debt at the same time.
Yeah,
and there's also the SQE route, which is a multi-choice exams that happen over a period of time. So there are a number of avenues. So I'd advise, or not advise actually, my guidance to any young lawyer who wants to be a lawyer is look at all the options. Don't stick to the traditional university model, number one. But B, if you can source a part-time job, that will be crucial because you'll develop skills in your part-time job. And that's what I did, because I had a part-time job at Marks and Spencer's. I developed skills at Marks and Spencer's, which I still use to this day. So I think that and also grow your network. Do not be afraid to go to events that are tailor-made for you, because you'll get to know the lawyers, you'll get to know people in charge of recruitment, you'll get to know about training days or work placements that they do, and you'll get to know about the firm. So those are the three things that I would tell any potential lawyer.
Cross-reference as well as a cross-trade, isn't it? Because if I need, obviously I'll speak to yourself about certain things, but if I speak to my conveyancing solicitor and I've got commercial conveyancing to do, normally you can refer on. And you get a lot of it through your network. Absolutely.
There's a lot of internal referrals. So, using your example, if you said, Vic, I'm buying my £1 million mansion in Solihull, be like, fine, my colleagues in conveyancing can deal with it for you. If you said that my son is buying a property, I'm fine, my colleagues in either commercial or residential can deal with it for you. So, and that's the thing. That's
even cross firms, isn't it? So say if your firm didn't do it, even
with law firms, absolutely.
Specialists outside the firm,
so I don't do niche tax litigation. I don't do it. So if I have that sort of matter come across my desk, I will refer it on.
You know a man.
But I know somebody we can refer it to. So, and that's the key thing. Lawyers, we're friends with the other lawyers because if you look at it, that they're not only are they a source of work, but they're a source of knowledge. So, I've got lawyers who I can call up and say, well, I've got this interesting query. What do you think? And we can talk about it, and that helps. So, making friends with other lawyers is a must, I think.
Yeah, and it goes with most trades. We're friends with certain other garages. We're not friends with others.
I can imagine why.
But obviously there's a lot of referrals, there's a lot of stuff. Electrical and engines, like full engine overhauls and stuff. There's specialists around the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas we're not geared up for some stuff, and we're not laid out for it. So, works in every industry. But that comes from, as you said, networking.
Absolutely. You've got to grow the network. You've got to grow the brand.
Yeah. Sitting in your office on your own, you're going to get a certain distance, can't you?
Well, if you wait for the phone to ring, eventually the phone will stop ringing.
Yeah.
And if you try going out networking now, you go to certain events. Yes, there's people who know each other, and it's difficult to break into that market. So that's why I say try networking from a very early stage in your career.
Because people do business with people,
absolutely,
not necessarily with firms.
That's the best thing. Word of mouth. I know this person is the best source of, is the best referral out there.
Yeah. So from your perspective, like with all the lawyers that and kind of the people that you've been around, for anyone out there, what would you think would be the best characteristics for a lawyer, like especially working in litigation?
Confidence.
Yeah.
Listening. You've got to listen to your client.
2 ears, 1 mouth, yeah.
You've got to, because don't forget, some clients, even commercial, have not been in this situation, have not been involved in a litigation matter, and they come to you because they need advice. And I think another one is your attention to detail. You should, pay particular attention to documents because, as a litigation matter progresses, you getting to know documents as a lawyer, knowing what they say and what they read, and that's critical because if the matter goes to trial, these are the documents that are going to be before the trial judge.
Yeah, because I've before we had the garage, we ran vehicles for HMCTS for 8 years. So we had a bit of exposure to a lot of court process and stuff. And so when I used to see the barristers and solicitors in the court, The one thing I noticed was, obviously when in the heat of the court battle, and the judges going back and forward and they're kind of arguing, the one guy that I saw was really good. The other barrister raised a point, and obviously she was trying to sway the direction her way, but because the guy knew all the documents that were behind him, he knew. So as soon as she raised a point, he went, no, on document 2, exhibit 2, third paragraph, bang,
there you go.
It specifically says this. So, and it's like you said, his attention to detail, he won.
Yeah, there you go.
Ultimately, so
attention to detail, that's a key characteristic.
Had it all on documents, and he knew everything. So, because the detail can make it or break it.
Absolutely,
can't it?
absolutely.
Yeah. So, no, fantastic. That's really good. So, take note, especially my niece Zara. So, you need to get hone your skills up. So, talking cars. Obviously, we're here. You have to talk cars when you come here.
Absolutely.
We're surrounded by them. So, obviously, you've got a very lovely car at the moment. You've been doing M8.
Well, thank you.
What's your car journey been like? Have you kind of leaped from something into this, or has it been progressive build up?
So it's been, when I first passed my driving test, it was a Vauxhall Corsa 1.2 SXI with the...
Aren't they always?
Aren't they always? Do you remember the clear Lexus lights that you used to have?
Yeah, them on the back.
So I had those on the back. I had a twin exhaust, although the exhaust just made a noise for no reason.
Out of a 1.2,
Out of a 1.2. Yeah. And then I sort of went the opposite end, and I went to a Toyota Avensis, which was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Big family car. Yeah. And then I went when I moved to London, I sold that. I had a Toyota Auris, which is great for up and down the motorway. And then I had a Mazda RX-8 with the suicide doors.
And the brilliant engine.
Engine coils, ignition coils. I tell you something, oh my gosh.
How much oil did you go through?
Do you know what? I was actually quite lucky.
It was all right, your one?
I don't think I went to as much as what some people did.
Some people do more oil than petrol in them.
Exactly.
So
but the value of that car just dropped like there was no tomorrow. I lost a lot of money on that car. But do you know what? It was great. It was black, and it had red and black leather. And it was great.
Well spec'd.
Yeah, well spec'd.
It's a
well
spec'd. Cool, funky car.
I like my cars to be well spec'd. Then I had a Mercedes E-Class. That was the first brand new car I had. The E220 AMG, which is a lovely car. Great drive, proper workhorse of a car. And then I've had a BMW 7 Series, which I would say before the 7 Series, I had an Audi A7, which was probably for me the worst car I've had.
I just thought you were going to say it's one of your best cars.
No. I just did not like the Audi A7.
Really?
No. And then I had the BMW 7 Series 740X drive, and it had massage seats, heating steering wheel.
You're talking my language.
Yeah, and I loved it. It was, honest to God, the best car that I had. And I bought it in February 2020. And of course, we went
lockdown.
Lockdown. But it was great. And I loved it so much. I bought the home car cleaning kit, started detailing it myself for like 8 hours a time. And it was fantastic. Then obviously when the market is picking up in COVID, I just sold it. I thought, okay, if I can make some money, I'll make some.
So did I.
Yeah. I'm sure you did. And then now I've got the BMW M8, which I'm hoping to keep for another few months. So I'll get the summer out the way with it. And then look to change it for something else. What? I do not know.
How have you found it? Was it 740D that you had before? Yeah. How have you found the switch to the Go Juice?
A lot more thirstier.
Yeah. A little bit.
Both are head turners. 7 Series turns heads because it's that ultimate luxury car. That's sort of on the road. And the M8 is it's just a beast that wants to be unleashed. That's the way I'll put it.
Time,
it's great. And then in summer, the roof's down. I mean, today it was 16 degrees, and I was contemplating whether to put the roof down or not.
Heated seats on, roof down.
Heated seats on, you got the neck warmers, put it all on, relax, enjoy Birmingham's air. But
I'm sure you endure it.
Well, but it's been a great car journey, and it's always great buying a new car because I'm a bit of an enthusiast. I like going to the garage, seeing what I can have, what fits in with my budget. I never wanted an M8, never wanted one, never wanted a sports car, just didn't see the fascination. I can remember December 2022, saw it on the official BMW website, and rang them up, still for sale, sent me a video, went to see it, fell in love with the car. Fell in love, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I just, I struck a deal for it on Christmas Eve, I think. No, the 23rd of December 2022, I struck a deal for it. And then picked it up. I've had it for about 13, 14 months now. So.
Yeah, just over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So you're going to change it at the end of this year?
Hopefully a little bit sooner, sort of October.
Yeah, you said after
November
summer
time. Yeah. Get the summer out the way because I've got the roof. And then I'll exchange it for something else because it's purely because it comes out of warranty in January 2025, and I don't really want to be stuck with a huge bill if something goes wrong in January for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next? I'm like.
How do you top this?
Do you know what? I think I'm liking the BMW i7. I am liking that.
Really? Okay, so back to a 7 Series.
Yeah. I do like the X7s.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
So, but BMW brand's your brand now?
Yeah, BMW is my brand now.
Yeah.
I think that it's the best drive out there.
Yeah.
So either one of those two.
So again, my school of thought.
Absolutely, great minds think alike, right?
And today, I don't know why, but we're surrounded by BMWs.
Listen, there's nothing wrong
intentional.
with it. Look at the beautiful looking cars, all beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. The grills just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's bigger and problem.
Yeah, but they're just fantastic. So that are I'll definitely stick to a German brand. There might be a Porsche on the horizon, but I've just got to see. At 36, it's sometimes difficult getting out of a car that's quite low to the ground, especially after playing like 2 games of football in a week and going to the gym. So it's so I might need something a little bit higher up. So it might have to be the X7 or the 7 Series.
That's it. Yeah. Well, that's why I have the 7 Series because it basically ticks all the boxes. It's the best all-round car that I've found anyway.
Fantastic.
When I'm looking for another car, I just get drawn back to it. Like the new model, basically.
You can't beat them. Yeah. I think the S-Class follows behind, but it's a way behind it, to be honest.
Do you know what? Because when we had the transport company, we used to have all of them. So we had the A8, 7 Series and the S-Class. And what we found was the 7 Series was more of a driver's car. Yeah. The S-Class was lovely, especially to be driven in. Yeah. But as a driver, it was a bit like mute. If you know what I mean, like from the driving experience. Yeah. It was very wafty.
Okay.
And very big, whereas the 7 you can feel the road, steering's more precise, things. And you put it in sport mode, it's awesome. No, but they're all great cars, but the 7 just fits our profile.
I just think it's BMW's driving excellence.
Yeah.
I don't care, but that's my
ultimate driving machine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I should get you as a brand ambassador, I think.
I know you're hearing that, BMW.
Yeah, BMW ought to get him down. You'd come down and.
I need my new 7 Series paying for, basically. So that'll be nice. I'll drive around with a big BMW banner on the side of it.
Serviced by MotorServe.
Yeah, that's it. Serviced by MotorServe. But would you? So you just mentioned the i7. That was going to be my next question. Like for your work, obviously you go out and about quite a bit. Would an electric car work for you?
It would because if you have a meeting that's some distance away, you normally only schedule one meeting for that day. Yeah. And it's just a bit like having a full tank of fuel, effectively. Yeah. I think the only reason I'm hesitant with electric is I don't think we've got the infrastructure up and down the country. Yeah. So that concerns me because the last thing I want is to be stuck with 50-mile range and I can't, I've got to charge my vehicle, but there's a 45-minute wait or an hour wait at the service station. That would just annoy me and it will make me fall out of love with the car. Because don't forget, we spend a lot of time in our cars and you want to enjoy driving it. You want to fall in love every time you drive it. Yeah. And if things like that happen, you'll just get annoyed with the car, so to speak. Yeah. So I think it will work, but there may be some limitations on it until the infrastructure improves. Yeah.
So you're sold on the car itself, but you're not sold on the infrastructure and what's available right now?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely crucial that people go green. I think we have to look after the environment, for not just for now, but for 50, 60, 100 years down the line. Obviously we won't be here, but for
the next generation,
for the next generation after that, we have to make sure that there is a place for them to call home. So I think it's absolutely crucial that we do go green, but infrastructure does need to improve.
So you're gonna, because you mentioned the i7, so do you think you're ready to switch into an i7 yet? Or would you get the 550e or 750e?
I think the range on the i7 is about 382 miles.
As advertised.
Yeah, so obviously in the winter it's just going to drop. But BMW have got they've got advanced technology in it. So I think at this moment in time, I use a legal term, on a balance of probabilities, I'm probably sold on the concept of the i7, but obviously it will just depend on circumstances and how much I'm traveling, etc. And then also, you just don't know what's on the market. There may be a Porsche that's just takes my liking, and it's like, well, i7, you can wait for another few years, and I'll just go for the Porsche. But I really want the i7. It's not only for it going green, but it's for the big 32-inch screen in the back.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to be able to see it because I'll be driving, but
which is nice to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that feature. It would just be great.
That's it. No, the tech on them. That's why I get attracted to them, because every time they change the model of the tech, it's leaps and bounds ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even going from a 7 to a 7 to a 7, it's like it's a completely different car.
Yeah,
the new one when it comes.
It's great tech.
Yeah, no, awesome. So at the moment, obviously you've got the electric, you've got petrol and diesel, but the new technology that's coming through, it's already here in some respects. There's some models already out, but hydrogen. What are your thoughts on that? Do you know much about it?
Only through what I've read through sort of the news. So I'm not a hydrogen expert, but as I understand it, the range is significantly higher than electric.
Yeah.
But then it all just comes down to one thing. These ideas are great because it helps the environment. But if there's not hydrogen stations readily available, then
you're buggered.
You're stuffed, so to speak.
Yeah.
What you'll have is people fighting over hydrogen pumps, like we all fought over loo roll back in COVID.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, massive queues at the stations. Yeah. That's the thing, because I think the hydrogen power in the cars is pretty developed now. Obviously BMW, Toyota, there's been a few manufacturers developing it, but it's the storage and transportation of the fuel, basically, which is a problem. So if you get, like you said, I like the idea of, I hate the idea of the electric cars. I've experienced them quite a few times now, and the hybrids are okay, but most are driving at high speed, or A roads and M roads you don't really use it. The hybrid element of it, so you're just dragging around a big battery with a petrol engine. So they're not very efficient in that respect. So electric cars would be better for that, but only if you could get on the road charging or charging while it drives and all that kind of tech that's coming. That'll make them not sustainable. But hydrogen at the moment, it's the next best to I'm not saying like technology wise, because the electric might be better, but from our lifestyle perspective.
I can absolutely see that point.
Fill as you need.
Like
fill on demand.
Well, it's got a good range, and I think, is it Nissan or Toyota have got one with 700 mile range or something?
Toyota they've been concentrating more on the hybrid engines, and they put a lot of tech into hydrogen, but they are obviously bringing out electric only cars as well. Okay. Because I think you have to now to get the zero emissions by the target date. So it's an interesting market. Being in the motor trade, having the garage and being involved in sales, it's very interesting marketplace. But there is a lot of your sentiment is pretty much consistent across all our members, all our guests and all our members so far. So
well, it's a consumer view, isn't it? Really? Yeah, there you go. I don't work in the trade, but it's the consumer view. That's what matters.
You're a big car buyer. Yeah. You're a target market, so manufacturers. You're the person that's going to be buying their flagship and top end motors, so they need to listen. Well, the sound on the M8, you won't be able to replicate on an electric car. Of course not. It's like that's another thing that you're going to miss. So when I'm going home today and on the motorway, I can just hear the zoom. Yeah, that's it. Probably the worst imitation of a car sound, but I wasn't going to say anything, but I got what you meant. Yeah. But the Taycan, obviously that makes a bit of a noise. Yeah, but it sounds quite cool, but it does sound like Robocop's just arrived. Yeah, with a Porsche, I've always been used to it making some sort of noise. Yeah, and it's weird just seeing a Porsche that doesn't make noise. So back to law, what's been the most, if you can, obviously without sharing any personal private details, of course, but what's been your biggest settlement or biggest case, juiciest? I'm grateful to the Almighty that I've had some great cases that have come across me, and, across my desk, and I've worked on them. Obviously, I don't want to breach any confidentiality, but I've
I've worked on cases where, we've been up against it on multi-million-pound settlements, and we've settled on favourable terms to my client. And there was one particular case where, we were up against it, for a number of reasons. But, the tactical advice, I'll say myself, was absolutely spot on. And the way I approached the litigation led to my client achieving favourable settlement terms. And, that client's grateful. I'll give you an example. That was I think in 2018, I represented them. And they came back to me, sort of September, October last year for some more advice. Yeah. So, although it's 4 or 5 years ago, if not a little bit more, that favourable settlement that I got for them has led to them instructing me for more matters.
You're the man.
Well, I don't want to say, but I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
That's it, exactly. But it's like, do you know the perception of like Suits, the series? I know it's not very realistic and stuff like the cases, but people have, I think a favourable, positive kind of image of lawyers.
I wish it were. I had a driver outside my office when I left for a meeting
with big Lexus.
With a big Lexus. I wish I could see a judge on the same day on first name terms, but unfortunately, I think
And all the meetings and all the conversations last about 40 seconds.
Well, see, they're not true lawyers, because true lawyers like to talk forever because you can charge more. But exactly. Obviously, drama adds great. It is great for TV, but for anyone, I'd say it's not what it's like in real life.
Don't make a career choice based on Suits.
Do not, do not make a career choice based on Suits. Going to law if you are enthusiastic about law, because it's a career. Once you qualify, this is your career for the rest of your life. You're qualifying in your early 20s. For the next 40 years, this is what you're going to be doing. And I always say, on a Sunday night, you want to look forward to coming into work on Monday morning, and that's the environment that we all, that Ward James Chappell tried to create, not for all the lawyers and all the staff, so secretarial, receptionists, whatever. That has to be in the environment, because if you create that sort of environment, you will then lead, it will lead to positive results.
Yeah, you'll have an A team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll get on a plane as well to Dubai.
Excellent. So, I know you mentioned quite a few things throughout, but have you got anything else in particular on the agenda for the future? Any other appointments or anything you're involved in?
Obviously, I'm a commercial manager at Established Football Club, so that's I really enjoy that. Because I'm a massive football fan. So there's we've had a good year for commercial income. Obviously, there's lots on the horizon for that to grow the commercial branding. Yeah. Because it's a non-league football club, commercial sponsorship is key to its revenue. I'm part of the IOD, so there's loads of events happening for Vaisakhi, for Eid and Diwali, working with people that like Abid, Amar, Saf, Rupi, Damni, working with those guys in advancing the IOD's agenda and what it's all about, and obviously my own personal career. Looking to advance, to go forward as much as I can, to get involved in more cases, bigger cases, and then grow the team. We're a team of 3 solicitors, a paralegal and a secretary, and look, hopefully in 12 to 24 months we can look to recruit another solicitor and keep on growing naturally. Yeah,
fantastic. So, to kind of summarise and close off, obviously as we've been going along, you've been mentioning bits, but in summary, for any kind of budding lawyers or anyone, not even just law, but any kind of careers, what would you suggest they strive for? Money or passion?
I would say strive for excellence. Strive to be the very best in your field, because if you don't want, ambition is great. You need ambition. You don't want to think, people always want, what I view this is people always want the end result. They always want the top position, but they're afraid of doing the hard work in between and all the sacrifices. Yeah. But if you strive for excellence, and that is, whatever that may be in the respective field, be prepared to do the hard work, and that's key for me. So, to summarise, strive for excellence in whatever field it is.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Vic.
That's my pleasure.
It's been absolutely fantastic having you. Really, really
so
interesting.
Much, Cameron. Thank you. Thank you to Cameron and the whole team for welcoming me today. It's been great. I suggest that everybody subscribes to MotorServe UK TV and listens to the podcast on all available platforms.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching today. I hope you found it interesting and enjoyable. Please do like and share for more content and more interviews just like this one.